let's jump right into this explainer and solve a really frustrating mystery. Have you ever noticed how two friends can earn the exact same salary, yet end up with completely different bank accounts after just a few years? You join a company together, make the exact same money, but 3 years down the line, one of you is house hunting while the other is just stressing over their monthly credit card minimums. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not about luck, and it's definitely not because someone's parents are secretly slipping them cash. It's actually because they're simply choosing not to buy certain things. So today, we're going to break down 5 everyday expenses that are quietly keeping most people's savings from actually growing. There is a seriously shocking data point staring right back at us here. The average U.S. worker makes about $4,500 a month, so that comes out to roughly $54,000 a year. But if you look at their average total savings, it's sitting at only around $5,000. Let that sink in. This means most people are out there grinding for years, yet their entire life savings might not even amount to a single year's salary. Even after you deduct all your basic living expenses, you really shouldn't be saving that little. Honestly, it points to a massive leaking pipe in their finances.
Which begs the ultimate question. Where exactly is all this money silently disappearing to every single month? Think of it like a leaking water pipe. Drop by drop, it feels like no big deal. But when that monthly bill hits, you're left completely dumbfounded, wondering what happened. See, the reason wealthy people actually build wealth isn't always because they earn some crazy, unusually high salary. It's because they've found and patched all those tiny little leaks in their pipes.
So to fix this, we're going to trace those leaks through 5 specific psychological spending traps. We'll cover the leaking wealth phenomenon, status and subscription traps, convenience and installment illusions, the hidden poor tax, and finally, we'll wrap up with a concrete 5-step action plan to fix your finances for good. Okay, let's dive right into number 1, the leaking wealth phenomenon. This first hidden expense is a fatal financial killer, and it's called status consumption. Have you ever upgraded to the newest, perfectly good smartphone just because holding your old one around your friends felt kind of embarrassing? Or, maybe you've split a $100 dinner at some high-end restaurant just to avoid looking out of touch with your coworkers. The truly terrifying thing about status consumption is that you aren't buying these items for your own needs. You're buying them literally just for the eyes of others. You gotta ask yourself, are you paying a massive premium just to manage how other people perceive your success? You really have to honestly contrast these two mindsets. When you spend money for status, you're entering this never-ending race where there will always be someone richer and there will always be a newer model. Truly wealthy individuals, like true billionaires, think Warren Buffett, stay in their old houses. Buffett lives in the exact same house he bought 60 years ago. Why? Because they outright refuse to play this depreciating game of buying for others. They buy for themselves, and they put their money into things that actually appreciate in value. Which brings us to number 2, status and subscription traps. Look, subscription services are basically financial parasites. Netflix, gym memberships, those random online courses, they just quietly siphon money out of your account every single month. And worse, merchants specifically use free trials because they know full well that human laziness is going to kick in and you'll completely forget to cancel. So to combat this, you need to adopt the wealthy habit of a quarterly audit to plug this leak fast. Just list out all your recurring deductions and apply what we call the rich rule. If you use a service less than 4 times a month, cancel it. No excuses. It is mathematically so much smarter to just switch to a pay-per-use model. Just rent the single movie or buy a day pass for the gym. Let's actually look at the math on this, because it's wild. If you cut out those unused subscriptions, you can easily save $100 a month. Now, taking just that $100 saved and investing it regularly over 10 years, that snowballs into over $18,000. Wealth accumulation is absolutely not about making massive amounts of money all at once. It's just about patching up these small, persistent leaks. Moving right along to number 3, convenience and installment illusions. We all do this one. We order food delivery because, we're tired after work. But spending $20 on delivery instead of $5 on a packed lunch is costing you an extra $330 a month if you do it every workday. That's nearly $4,000 a year. Convenience becomes this incredibly expensive penalty for mere laziness if you aren't actually using that saved time to hustle, learn a new skill, or take on freelance work. If you're paying for convenience just to gain an extra hour to doom scroll on your phone, you are literally bleeding cash for zero return. Furthermore, we have those incredibly deceptive buy now, pay later systems. Merchants totally know you'd hesitate at a $1,000 price tag, so they artificially chop it up. They tell you, hey, it's just $33 a month. But here is the illusion. it is still $1,000. Tricking yourself into locking up huge percentages of your future salary completely destroys your ability to delay gratification. Rich people save the cash first. Honestly, if you can't afford to pay the full amount right now, you just shouldn't buy it. Okay, let's dive into number 4, the hidden poor tax. The poor tax exposes a fundamental flaw in the logic of thinking, well, I don't have money, so I absolutely must buy cheap things. Here's what happens. When you buy cheap, low-quality goods, they inevitably break quickly. And because they break, you have to buy them again and again. You end up spending way more over time than if you had just saved up and bought one solid, durable item in the first place. Let's actually prove the math behind this vicious cycle. Look at the cheap trap. Say you buy $30 shoes. They fall apart in 3 months, so you end up buying 4 pairs a year. Your total cost? $120 a year. Now contrast that with the quality investment. You spend $120 up front on a really great pair of shoes that actually lasts 3 full years. That averages out to just $40 a year. Buying quality immediately reduces your long-term spending footprint. This is because the wealthy focus intensely on the cost per use. They're totally willing to endure a little short-term inconvenience to save up for durable, high-quality goods. Meanwhile, the ordinary mindset fixates only on the immediate sticker price, just trying to solve the problem right in front of them with the absolute cheapest option available. And remember, good things don't necessarily have to mean expensive, flashy designer brands, but they absolutely do equal quality and durability. And that brings us to our final section, number 5, your 5-step action plan. Understanding these leaks is great, but taking action is where the real magic happens. So follow this exact 5-step framework. First, pull up your last 3 months of bank statements. Second, grab a highlighter and mark every single time you fell into one of these 5 traps. You are going to be shocked. It might literally be a third of your spending. Third, cancel the easiest leaks first, which are almost always those digital subscriptions. Fourth, I want you to commit to a 30-day no-touch challenge on just one of these categories, like absolutely no food delivery for an entire month. And fifth, set up automatic transfers so the money you save immediately gets swept into investments. Oh, and be sure to recruit an accountability partner too. Sharing your goals will drastically increase your odds of actually breaking these habits. By systematically addressing all 5 of these wants disguised as needs, let's look at what happens. You save $100 on status, $50 on subscriptions, $150 on convenience, you free up $250 by ditching those installments, and another $50 by avoiding cheap breakable goods. Add that all up, and you free up a staggering average of $600 every single month. That is a huge win. And your quality of life doesn't drop, it actually elevates because you gain real security and freedom. And here is your ultimate reward. If you take that $600 monthly and invest it into the US stock market at a historical 8% return, time literally does the heavy lifting for you. In 10 years, that's over $100,000. In 20 years, it grows to over $340,000. This builds massive, life-changing wealth without you needing a successful startup, a winning lottery ticket, or some rich family trust fund. It just takes discipline. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful thought. Your future begins changing from the things you choose not to buy today. Every single time you cook instead of ordering out or cancel a useless app, you are taking a tangible step closer to true financial freedom. So the only question remaining is whether you are willing to take action right now. Will you pick up your phone and cancel just one unused subscription today? Try it. Watch how it transforms your future. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.